Hello everyone. So rule number one of being a person on the internet is if you get into any trouble and things are a little dicey for you on the internet, and you get to a point where you're kind of like somewhat recovered from trouble, that you should not mention that ever again. You want to induce amnesia as much as humanly possible in your audience in order to not remind people of what might have frustrated, what they might have found frustrating about you at some point. I am breaking, I guess, that cardinal rule because I think the interesting thing about, gaining a little bit of traction on the internet as someone who very much grew up as the chronically online generation. I got my first phone when I was in the 4th grade. It was an iPhone 6 Plus. Love that baddie, gold. It was like the size of my body. And I made my first Instagram account when I was like 8 on my mom's phone. Followed it Ariana Grande. That was my life, right? As a child of the internet, like I grew up obviously with like a certain mentality around like content creators and how I thought their lives were like and how I felt like they felt like about their jobs, and it was definitely looked at as being like extremely aspirational. And to be on the receiving end of it, and especially to kind of have like, I did start to grow on social media, like slowly, but at the same time, like ultimately very fast. I've only been making content online, at least, yeah, all of my platforms. I started about a year ago. I started it was like the very beginning of my fall semester in 2024, so that would have been like September 2024. That's when I started making content, and I'm really close to hitting 400K on TikTok, which is exciting. And so it kind of crept up on me though. So as much as it did happen fast, it also feels like it just like crept up on me that like one day I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I like have some followers online. Like that's crazy. And because, it just sort of gradually happened to me, my mindset or my like relationship with myself, my relationship with like the internet, I think it did change, but I still ultimately feel like me, like I feel like you have this idea that like, oh my gosh, it'd be really cool to like make content and have some people care about some of the things that I say and whatever, and be able to, make some money online and this, that, and the third. Like seemed super fun. And then I think like, at least the way that I thought about it, I guess when I started making content, I thought like, oh, it'd be really cool if I can get to these certain career goals. I think in my head, I thought that I was going to I thought I was gonna like feel some type of way about it, like I thought I was gonna feel like a different person, and I don't. Like obviously I feel exactly the same. And so all of that to say that I'm still a normal, like I'm just scared. I get scared of being on the internet all the time. I get scared of being someone that's perceived and someone that, can, especially making the content that I make. I think it's not even necessarily like follower count or anything like that. So I hope he's not distracting you guys. But it's not even necessarily follower count as much as it is just like knowing that I talk about things that people find to be extremely controversial, and that like I can attract detractors, and I can attract specifically men who have a lot of like vitriol for me in the way that I speak. And so I know that this might not be like a smart video to make, but it's still a video that I want to make. I've been talking like a lot about how I want to like kind of talk about what it's like to be online, what it's like to be a woman online, and what it's like to be like the recipient of, sometimes people's aggression and real strong dislike for you, that doesn't, that feels really like, it's a really, 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 really alienating, like extremely peculiar life experience, because it's not something that I think very many people will ever have to go through, thankfully, where, you have people who just speak so like confidently about you. Sometimes, it's like I scroll and I'll see someone like talking about me and they're so heinous in the way that they talk about me, and they say it with such confidence, like we've been friends for 10 years. And it's really hard. I think the first point I want to make is that confidence, and I'm so sorry, I'm gonna put my cat away because I respect you enough to not have to do this like this. Okay, we're back. Confidence is a performance more than anything else. And it's really easy to get online and like say that you don't care about the way that people are talking about you, or to not care when someone's just being mean for no reason and blah, blah, blah. It's definitely like a smart front to put up, but it's not an honest one. I woke up this morning to like a video of a man and a bunch of men in his comment section just like calling me ugly and just coming for my appearance. And I know that these are like jobless losers. And I know that like this is a faceless account. You know, this is somebody who doesn't have the guts to put his face behind what he's saying. But obviously feels comfortable like facilitating a space where my face is being attacked. It's like, it's hard to receive that. And I think like what I've been wanting to do is, I'm so aware that this is such like a weird life experience to have, and not very many people ever have to be on the receiving end of that. And so I don't think that I don't think very many people are given the chance to know how vicious things can be and how difficult it is to sit with, how resilient you're forced to become. People don't know that. And so I think then they have like a lot more comfort kind of like engaging in attacks, or just kind of seeing it as like just like a normal part of the internet, that it's just a part of the internet landscape. And like, and I will say that I think any vitriol I've ever experienced is like nothing compared to what other people have gone through. Amber Heard exists. You know, A-list celebrities exist. Women who have suffered like way more than I've suffered are there. And so I'm not at all trying to present my little corner of the internet as like being the most anyone's ever gone through ever. But this is just my POV. It's like, it's just so dystopian. Like to literally like just wake up and just see 32,000 people like a video where you're just like essentially being called ugly is like for talking about feminism. It's like, so like, why do we do that to people? And I'm trying not to do like a kumbaya, like can we all just love one another and open our hearts moment. But it's just about acknowledging like the dignity and the humanity behind people. And I think it's hard because like, you're kind of like, I think asking for empathy and understanding about something. And it's like, oh, here's the thing. I also know that like a lot of the people who watch me are like not actively participating in any sort of hate train, especially towards me. So like, and I'm not even saying that hate train even really exists. I'm talking more about like one-off experiences where I've been like the recipient of like negative content. So I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but broadly speaking, like ever since I've been, you know, someone on the internet, like I've been very different. Like I've engaged with content about other people very differently. I've looked at like drama and like people getting reported on very differently. Like in my head, I know we do not know these people. We don't know these people. We don't know what is going on, because people will say with complete and utter confidence, with a level of conviction as if they were like telling you their first name. They're like, oh, this is 100% factually correct. Facts about your life that you've never heard of. That are not anywhere near reality. And so now that I know that can happen, like I have irrefutable evidence that can happen, like the way that I engage with conversations online is very much like, I'm not sitting here believing anybody. I'm not sitting here like siding with anyone, or, you know, now also I'm way more selective if I am gonna comment on celebrities or influencers or other content creators or anything like that. Like I am more particular about the way that I'm gonna do it, because people hear things. I think that's also another thing. I think people kind of assume if you have a certain amount of followers that you don't hear some of the videos that are being made about you. Like you hear a lot. And I'll just leave it there. But like you do hear a lot of what is being said. And I think sometimes people say things that I always wonder, like if you saw me, like if you could talk to me IRL, like would you have said that to my face? And I don't think they do. I don't think they would. I mean, I don't think they would, because it's just so like baseless. So sometimes I'm like, just know that your videos do good to people. But anyway, I don't even know if I necessarily have a call to action as much as I have like I obviously like talk about being a woman, I talk about feminism, I talk about my POV as a girl in this world, as a girl where we have a lot of vitriol towards girls. Like that's my lived experience, to use that term. And I think I've just been reflecting a lot on like how I made content in like the beginning of last month even. And now like my relationship to videos was so different then. Like the way that I just like thought about making content was so different because I wasn't so like intimidated. And then, you know, yeah, like a switch flipped. And now getting online is really hard. And sort of knowing that you kind of have some groups of people who want to interpret the things you say with the least amount of grace is really, really hard. And also knowing that there's groups of people who kind of just like have this like vitriol and this hatred for you that's like a lot of times unfounded. And even if it is kind of founded in like, you know, you had a take I disagree with, or you know, have a perspective on something that I don't really align with, kind of like just that then being like giving you a free-for-all and kind of getting this like complete like permission slip to then like just degrade you as a person. It's like, I don't know how people do this for like extended periods of time. TBH. I don't know how they do it because it's like so like, it's so great. It's so, it's a level of like tolerance that I don't think a person should have to have. And so I like, I don't know, I keep stopping and like asking myself if I feel like I'm being dramatic. Like I keep having that question, like am I just like thinking about this too hard? But then I'm sitting there and I'm like, should you wake up to like 30,000 people? My camera's about to overheat. Jesus Christ. But to 30,000 people calling you like ugly, calling you chopped, and just like have thick skin about that? Like, is that something that we should like do to people? Am I not having a somewhat level response given the reaction? I don't know. I think I just like miss being able to talk freely. To sort of not, I don't know, like feel like in some ways you're kind of starting off on people's bad side and kind of have to like earn your way out of that. I got a lot of like really supportive messages over the last few weeks from people, and I don't want to like drop the ball in being able to be like someone that's people can rely on for good content, but I also am like the bar, the ask right now of like what you kind of have to tolerate in order to still show up is like a lot. I still want to be on the internet. That is like a personal decision that I've made, because I really valued being able to like articulate my ideas, but I am realizing like I just have to like, I need to like, I don't know what to do, you know? And every time I feel like I've hinted at this on the internet, people have been like very understanding and accommodating, and like, so I know it's not like my audience thing. It's just kind of knowing that there's like a dark underbelly that gets to you. And so I don't know if I just need to get like a really strict screen time going about how much time I can be online, or just hire a comment moderator and just not look, have somebody else do that. I don't know, but it's like, I feel like there's just like a certain level of my brain I can't access anymore. Like the way that I used to like, people to just like move through the world and watch videos and whatever and like have my reactions and want to just share them and like share them without so much concern about like needing to be like, knowing that I was gonna be, you know, picked apart. Like that I feel like is what's been like barred from me now, and I think that's what I'm like mourning the most. Yeah, there's no point to this video other than like, this is an angle that I don't think we get to hear very often. And I hope that it's still valuable, and I just hope it just changes the way you think about people and see women online. Because I think a lot of us won't ever really know that POV unless we live it. And nobody should have to live through this. Not that I'm saying, you know, whatever people objectively have harder lives, like this is first world problems, but we shouldn't have to like, you shouldn't have to like wake up to like 30,000 people calling you ugly to know what that, like, you maybe shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't make a world where that's something that could happen. And I know it's not, and I'm not saying this is any one person's fault other than individual people who make this content, but there is something about like the culture we foster online and how quick we are to be so aggressive and how quick we are to like punish someone. Like all bets are off, just punish someone because of like one individual point they made that you don't personally agree with, you're gonna, like, people disagree with you on even important matters all the time. And like, you just have to be able to like still just give, like, respect the humanity and like the fundamental dignity of a human being. You don't have to like be nice or like leave positive comments or follow me even, like, you don't have to do any of that. But there's just like a low that we're willing to get to so easily. Like the sort of sin you need to commit to get, like, to receive that sort of treatment is like so low. And that's the part that I'm just like, what? Like, we just don't have any tolerance for like any amount of like disagreement or anything like that. Yeah, I think it's just like, I think also just the point of like, there's just a level of strength you need in order to exist online that I don't think is fair. I don't think you should have to be this strong. And I'm sometimes not that strong.